Hi everyone, hello. How
Hi
are you
everyone.
doing today? We see a few
We hope you
people
guys are doing
joining
great.
already.
Yeah, so I suggest us we wait for like 3 more minutes so everyone could join. And in the meantime, just maybe type in the comments section where you guys, what country you're from, what city you're from. I'm always curious to know the geography of people we work with, people who are interested in what we're doing. Uh, I think this is going to be a nice warm up for us.
I think we're having a small delay, technical delay due to the streaming, so we will reply a little bit with a delay as well. We see people from Germany, from Ukraine, people based in Cyprus as well. Amazing. Latvia.
Latvia.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I used to study in Latvia. This is an amazing country. I love it.
What did you study, Vlad?
I think business and economics. It was Turiba University. I think it should be famous in Latvia. That was an interesting journey.
Super cool.
Wow.
We have people from Brazil, from Barcelona.
Germany. Wow.
From Germany.
Cool. That's amazing.
Amazing. We have people from all around the globe joining. And since we have more and more people joining us, do you mind sharing as well? What do you do? Design, marketing, social media?
Yeah, this might be a good networking opportunity, guys. Maybe you will connect in the comments and later you can find each other on LinkedIn. You never know. So yeah, why don't use this opportunity? Great crowd. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, I will start. So, Vlad, do you think we're waiting for a few minutes, maybe 1-2 minutes, and we proceed with our presentation?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's check the few answers from what people are doing. I'm really curious. So we have UX, UI design, graphic animation, AI designer, cool, editorial, cool. I think marketing, great. So yeah, I think we can start. We can slowly start it up, and for those who are a little late, there's going to be they will miss some info, but okay, we have even small business owners. Yeah, let's go ahead. I think we're good. What do you think?
Yes, we're giving the word to you, Vlad. You're going to start this presentation and we move forward with the trends.
Thank you, Marie. So let's start with a quick overview of today's session. Let's check our agenda. So we'll begin with a brief self-introduction and we'll explore how Creative Trends' mission has evolved over the years. Next, Maria will present the Creative Trends 2026 overview, highlighting key industry directions and sharing real-world cases to illustrate how these trends are already in action. And we will wrap it up with Q&A. By the way, towards the end, there's going to be a special bonus for all live attendees, so stay with us till the very end. And of course, if there's any questions during this session, feel free to add them in a chat and we'll address them either right away or during our Q&A session. So let's move to our brief introduction. I'm Vlad. I'm managing AI partnerships at DepositPhotos. I have over 6 years of experience in business development and strategic partnerships. And after 2 years here at DepositPhotos, I can be confident in calling myself an expert in photo and digital assets licensing. especially in the context of AI. And honestly, so far it's been an amazing journey. During today's webinar, I'll share a bit more details on DepositPhotos, context of the company, what we're doing, and I'll help to moderate the session. So again, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer all of them in the chat. So don't hesitate to ask your questions. We'll be happy to work with that. And now I'll pass the word to Maria for her self-introduction.
Hey everyone, my name is Maria and I'm head of content marketing at DepositPhotos and VistaCreate. VistaCreate is part of the Vistaprint and a larger group of companies that we're working in. I have over 10 years in content creation and marketing, and previously I have worked for both the UK and the US markets in companies such as Culture Trip, Ink Publishing, and Artsy. I've been creating content since early years in the university, and it's been a while already. Also, over the last few years, I've done over 30 presentations at different events worldwide, including in Barcelona, in Germany, in Cologne, and many, many other cities. And mostly I covered the topics of creative trends, of technological trends, and of course AI, since it has become really popular and advanced over the last few years. And the proud moment for our company and for our project is that with the Creative Trends project that I have been leading for over 7 years now, we have won the 2 Red Dot Awards in a row, which means that the work that we're doing was recognized for the high quality design, for amazing research and brand communications, which is, I will repeat myself, a proud moment for us, and we're happy to present and share more about this project with you today. Now I will pass the word back to Vlad, since we have more interesting info to share about our company and the mission with the Creative Trends.
Right. Thanks, Maria. It was a great introduction. So for those who might be new to DepositPhotos, which is, by the way, part of Vista, I like to mention in this right away. So just to share a bit more context, since 2009, we've evolved from the stock platform into full creative ecosystem. And today we offer over 300 million assets with more than 100,000 contributors and over 45 million clients worldwide. With all of that, we offer 24/7 support in 29 languages. And I also like mentioning this because arguably it's one of the most efficient support teams I've ever worked with. So this is great, guys. In addition to that, we provide an amazing editing solution with a VistaCreate editor, API solutions for teams who work on scale here in Kiev, where I'm actually based right now. There's Lightfield Studio for on-demand shots for our customers and to expand our own repository. And last but not least, we strongly emphasize ethical AI. We provide generative and editing AI tools trained exclusively on ethically sourced data. And this allows us to provide the same commercial license for AI-generated content as we do for the stock images, with same limitation and liabilities. So in other words, it's 100% commercially safe. At the same time, we support AI model training by licensing ethically sourced assets, ensuring, of course, all contributors are fairly compensated and fully informed. I hope this info was useful. So if you see any overlaps in what we're doing, now you know the guy. You can always connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to chat or network. But with that being said, our main focus today is creative trends. So let's kick this off by exploring the missions of creative trends. First of all, our goal is to make you feel confident about the future, even in such times when the creative landscape feels unpredictable, if you will. We want to share the inspiration you can actually use in your project as an actionable roadmap. We want to encourage you to stand out. And just as importantly, we want to save your time by doing this research, analytics, connecting with the industry leaders and expert insights and peer feedback. In addition, along with this trend, we've prepared a collection of creative assets you can use in your work or just as a source of inspiration. So ultimately, Creative Trends is all about helping you lead creativity and shape what's next, not just react to it. With that in mind, I'm excited to clear the stage for Maria to explore the creative trends and how they are shaping creative industry.
Thank you, Vlad, so much. And now we're starting with the most exciting part of our webinar. And before we go to the trends overview, I would like to make a note about the trends we're presenting and trends that we are creating as a part at DepositPhotos. They are not the styles to copy. It's not the Pinterest mood board or any other mood board that you just try to implement in your designs. They are much more the signals of what audiences now expect. And you can combine different trends together, you can put them in clusters and use them in different ways for your projects, and we will stop on that even more today. So the creative trends overview will start in a few minutes, and I'd like to pay your attention to a few things on how the creative trends are shaped. So first of all, we don't just do the secondary research and provide you with different topics for inspiration. As Vlad mentioned, DepositPhotos is a huge creative ecosystem that has over 300 million files, digital assets, which include music, photos, videos. We also have 100,000 contributors from all over the world uploading their files to our library, as well as 45 million clients on the other side who search our library and download visuals and generate visuals. All this data gives us plenty, millions of insights, data-driven insights, of course, on where the creative communication and creative industry is heading in the near future. And this is how our research starts in the first instance. So basically, how we create our trends is that we start from the data-driven insights. We also talk to the creative industry experts from around the world who share their commentary, who back up our vision or oppose to our vision of the creative trends. And after that, we do the secondary research about the socioeconomic factors, about the political factors, and any kind of factors that might influence the decisions and the moods that audiences have right now and will have in the months ahead. So if you're ready, so we are. Let's start with the first trend. The first trend is actually my favorite. That's why we're starting with it. It's reality strikes. The most important part here is, of course, the visuals and the messages that you translate, but to give you some context and better understanding of how this trend emerged, we should go back to a few years ago when we were seeing huge trends on social media, in particular in TikTok and Instagram, sharing this trend of people being kind of in a rose-colored glasses. It was a huge trend for romanticizing your life and kind of forgetting about the real problems and real context that humans have on a daily basis. After getting tired from this trend, and I think it reflects greatly where we are all now, audiences started craving for visuals that feel real and not staged. We are not having a great mood today, every day. For example, some people can be angry, sad, anxious, disappointed. Of course, they can also be happy, optimistic, and joyful, but there is a whole spectrum of emotions that we are experiencing on a daily basis, and now more than ever, audiences are craving to see that reflection in the creative campaigns. If we're talking about the visual elements that should be translated in campaigns and in creative assets, they are all mostly about the imperfection, the imperfect details that make up our everyday life, about the honesty towards others and yourself, and the emotional truth about what you're feeling. All the things are replacing the glossy overproduction across all formats. And if you're looking to use this trend in your creative communication, the key question you should ask yourself: Are we speaking truth to our audience? Are we being honest about them, about us, and about the message that we want to translate? And from here, we can find another trend and we can stop on another trend that is no less important and that clearly shows us the emotional and psychological state of the audiences today. So this is an amazing trend because it draws the metaphor from the blue hour. If you're familiar with the photography, and I'm sure you are, this is a term from photography, blue hour, just the hour when the hour of the day, actually 2 hours of the day when the nature is covered in a blue, soft blue light, and this is the hour either before the sunrise and the golden hour in the morning or after the sunset, and it's called blue hour. And this blue hour this year, it moves blue color this year, it moves away from the corporate blue colors to a softer ones in order to become the color of emotional intelligence in design. With all this visual noise and all this cluster that we're seeing in social media, a calmer color, it invites for presence and for clarity without losing the impact. And if you're choosing to cut through the noise, this color might stand out among all the designs and help audiences feel the calmness and the clarity that you're providing as a brand. An important notion, an important moment to pay attention here is that according to the Edelman Trust Barometer, which is an institute that makes research on the levels of trust in the society and across audiences, it has shown that companies are the only trusted source and credible source for audiences, the brands actually, in addition to government and media. If a few years before people have been trusting government and media much more, now the main source of credibility for them are brands. And considering this responsibility to carry and the fact that you can actually create a lot of impact by being honest and being super relatable to your audience, you can create completely different kind of projects and connect with your audience much better. Now we'll move to the two trends that are actually contrasting to the ones that we discussed recently. Trend number 3 is an authentically artificial trend, and this is what we saw a lot of insights about this trend we saw in our AI generator and in generations that our audiences are making every day, thousands, tens of thousands of generations. If a few years before, content creators, designers, marketers were worried about the generative AI and in general AI tools replacing their work and shifting the industry so much, today we can see that generative AI in particular becomes a standalone creative copilot. It's not about content creation versus AI, it's about creating together and creating a different type of visuals. What we have noticed as well is, considering this trend, there is a new visual style has evolved over the last few months. We call the style a semi-generated realism, where you blend machine logic and human storytelling. And the most important part here is that you try and that you do your best in order to scale your ideas faster and create faster without losing the scale and without losing your soul and unique human touch. And we will talk about this later in a bit, where we will show some examples of how you can create realistic images with AI and create them much faster without losing your time for production from scratch and use them for your creative campaigns. Another trend that unexpectedly emerged in our content library as well as across the creative industry is the trend for using a lot of flower motifs. However, this year in 2026 and beyond, the floral motifs, they will be reborn with a totally new meaning. Flowers are no longer a decoration that are used for nice campaigns of some beauty products or something like this, or a spring-related symbol. No, they are much more important symbol that you can use year-round to symbolize resilience, softness, and of course, the natural cycles of renewal that are happening every year or a couple times a year and make your design look fresher and stand out even in winter, autumn, or any time of the year. The next few trends are super nice, and the trend number 5 actually is the one that our team has mostly voted for. It's a Kidal trend, and for sure you have seen it around a lot. We can start with the collectible toys and of course Labubu and stuff like that, their popularity, but the highlight here and the important point to notice is that with this trend growing, play becomes part of an adult life. It's not only for kids or for younger people. Playfulness in your designs and creative campaigns, it can become a fully fledged strategy. And this approach of a child's approach to joyful content creation, optimistic content creation, and even nostalgic content creation, it can drive you completely different results, because when you unleash your child and you unleash your creative freedom, you can create something even more creative and even more appealing to the audiences. And when we talk about audiences, these are millennials in the first instance, because they are actually the most nostalgic towards the Y2K aesthetics and the kind of games and toys that they used to have during their childhood. And what we also see in brand examples is that a lot of brands, they have used play in order to emotionally connect with their audiences. And this is not only about entertainment audiences. For example, some media like The New Yorker, they have been creating apps with games, and many other brands, they used the elements of play to better engage with the audiences and attract their attention. Trend number 6 that we'd like to discuss today is the tender shift. The tender shift trend is the evolution actually of the trend for self-love that has been hyped and super popular over the last few years. So a lot of brands, they have been promoting the self-love concept and encouraging people for self-love in order to be more compassionate towards themselves and to promote the feelings of happiness and joy and optimism in everyday lives. But the next level of this trend, and it's actually great, is to share that love and kindness with others. And if we're speaking about the visual elements and opportunities to translate it in your designs and to translate it in your creative projects, we're talking about the soft visuals, about the calm colors, the optimistic and very light fonts, and of course the emotionally intelligent communication that not only builds trust but also signals the cultural leadership and maturity of your brand. When we talk about all the creative trends here, and Vladislav also mentioned it and I mentioned before, every trend is applicable to different kind of audiences. And if you see that one of these trends is not working for your brand or not working for your audiences, you can blend and alter them in order to fit your target audience, because nobody knows your target audience more and better than you. And to have the proper communication and the engage in communication, it's extremely important to understand what are the expectations, the mood and emotional states of your audiences. And then the trends that you apply will have the maximum impact and conversion, of course. And the last, but not the least, are trends quietly loud and creative sync. Quietly loud is yet another visual and audiovisual trend, and after the years of rivalry, minimalism finally meets maximalism. There is no more competition between having a lot of white space or minimalistic backgrounds and combining it with a bold typography and even a little bit aggressive typography. This trend is all about being simple and standing out at the same time. This trend that has intentional contrast between the calmness and boldness, it commands attention and helps you stand out also in this oversaturated market and oversaturated social media. And the last trend that we're going to talk about is actually not visual, not audiovisual. However, it's the trend that we can't ignore. The trend is called creative sync because creativity is being elevated by the integrated systems. If we take DepositPhotos, this is also a great example. A few years before, we were just the creative content platform with millions of stock assets. But understanding the needs of our clients and the needs of our audiences, we have realized that it's incredibly important to provide the audiences with a more integrated ecosystems and systems where we have a lot of content assets, we have generative AI tools, we have editing AI tools, we also have creative assets like templates that you can utilize within one platform and create an amazing campaign without leaving one platform, as I mentioned. So we're seeing, in addition to this, more modular workflows and more consistent output. And if you've been in the creative industry for a while, and I'm sure you have, because we have a lot of leaders and strategic marketing leaders today, professionals, there are two things that we can see everywhere. And when we study marketing and design, they're just like said out loud. So first of all, consistency is king, and creative sync trend allows you to stay more consistent and to have more consistent outputs every day. And at the same time, you need to be creative and to have amazing imagination in order to stand out. So this trend will allow you to no longer sacrifice the speed and quality and combine all of this together. And if we were to make a few examples and a few conclusions about where all of this is heading and like the three takeaways that you should take home today. So the one is that the future and the 2026 will be, first of all, about trust and emotional honesty. Visual storytelling is shifting from just grabbing attention and to earning trust. And I have just mentioned the Edelman barometer trust percentage, that 70% of people consider brands to be the only trusted source for them. So a question to think about: how do you make trust not just a brand promise, but a creative outcome? How do you make every visual, every message you say, and every campaign that you launch speak honestly and deepen the trust and credibility between your audience and your brand? And these three trends that you can see on the slide, they will definitely help you with that. A few cases and examples that are worth mentioning, and I just love this example. So example number one is the social media post from Gartner UK, and in general, the way they're leading their social media and Instagram. So what they did is they spoke to their audience and to their subscribers in a completely honest way. And I think all of us have had this fear or a situation at work. So what they wrote, you can see on the screen, our content creator is on leave. This is what the rest of the team came up with. And you see this ugly hand-drawn design, and you see a presentation that has definitely not been done by a designer, and you see some statistics that probably the performance marketing manager has put for the marketing team, and it caused so much relatability and so much discussion in Instagram and in general in social media. A lot of media have covered this case, and it's a great example of how you can make something human as a part of your creative campaign and a brand. And we can see that this post has got over 10K likes on Instagram, and almost 10K people have sent it to each other, and this trend has really gone viral. And this is a great example of how being honest can boost the trust between you and your audience. Another trend that actually is another brand that is actually super witty and they're great at marketing is Oatly. Oatly is an alternative milk drink, and you can see how they're promoting themselves. Instead of creating a glossy billboard or any kind of glossy advertising, they really appeal to their audiences with the things that, with the wording and with the designs that everyone will find relatable. So for example, on here they write, "It works in tea." And if you are also drinking alternative milk, you know that when you put the milk in the tea, it can just like dilute a little bit and not taste very good. So they are talking about this fear, and especially because this advertising was in the UK, and they're addressing the fears of the clients super directly and in an amazing way. Also, they share their own fears about on this bus stop billboard. So they say, "You actually read this? Oh, that's total success for us." So they are confident in themselves, and they're communicating that they want your attention. They are honest about it. And they try different creative ways and really straightforward ways to elevate the connection between them and their audiences. The next conclusion that I would like you to take home today is that human signal and AI scale, they go together in 2026. AI is no longer the differentiator. Remember this joke, in LinkedIn, Instagram, they have a lot of these memes like, "Can you sell me this product in 2 seconds?" And then everyone says, "Oh, it has AI." Okay, this is no longer a very funny meme, because everything has AI, and AI is integral part of our life. So the most important question here, and the question that I'd like to leave with you for you to reflect, is when you use AI on a daily basis, how do you ensure that the output you create stays human, has your personal tone of voice, your brand's tone of voice, and how audiences can understand that there is a human behind the AI and the human inside? And while you're thinking about this question, we have created a small quiz for you. Vlad, it's your turn now to entertain our audience today.
Thanks, Maria. It was great insights, and I really loved those cases with Garnier, Oatly. Amazing. So long story short about the quiz, we've put together a fun short quiz comparing real images to AI-generated ones. One of the reasons is that these days, the line between AI and reality is getting more and more blurred. Thankfully, there are great initiatives like C2PA standard, Google Think ID, and other invisible watermarking technologies, which helps us make a good progress towards keeping content authenticity. However, In any case, I think that having a sharp eye is still a wonderful skill. So let's test yours. Just type in the chat which image you think is real, either 1 or 2, and let's see how many you can guess correctly. Okay, let's go ahead with this one. I think we're going to need like 10-15 seconds for each image to get our answers. Oh, Maria. Oh, no. That's my bad. Okay. So, okay. We got some responses. We move into the next one. Okay.
I think some of the examples are really easy, but others you can't just really tell where it's a human touch and where it's an AI.
Yeah, it really depends on the prompt, on the tool you're using for generating the image, on your approach. So, yeah, this is quite interesting. Okay, so we have some answers. Nice.
Moving forward.
Yes, I think we can. Okay. All right, and we have the last one. Great.
So, Vlad, now you should share which answers are the right ones, because personally, I couldn't tell in some cases.
Yeah, well, yeah, in some cases it was very obvious for me, but there's been a lot of answers. Some of them were different, but we decided not to make things complicated. And all the first images were real, while all second were generated by AI. So there were really like few second numbers in the chat, if I don't recall anything. So you guys have really trained eye for this, and it's totally understandable because every day we see more and more AI images. So it's getting hard to distinguish what's real, what's not, but you're doing pretty good. So now I'll clear the stage back to Maria to cover a few more insights and cases.
Yeah, I just came back to this slide because for me it was the trickiest. I mean, when our team put together these examples, I was like, wow, here I would never tell what is AI and what is real because they look very similar. Like, okay, the contrast is different, but if you edit the first one a little bit, it would be like almost the same. So after this quiz, we're coming back to the question that I asked you a few minutes ago. As AI scales the creative output, how do people know it's still you behind your work? And this is a great question once again to reflect on, since the approach that you're using for the AI tools and the kind of prompts that you're using, and also like the way you post-process or edit images, or how you combine them together in one campaign, this is what will help you stand out for sure, and what will add the human touch to all of this. So the future of this trend is all about combining the human creativity with AI. So you have the scale you need, you have the consistency you need, but you also have the uniqueness and creativity that everyone's looking forward to. The last conclusion we're going to stop today on is about using soft power as differentiation. And this is all about moving from the aggressive and insistent marketing to a softer, more playful marketing where you use it not just decoratively to make a nice design, but you use it strategically. If you have a campaign, you can try the more soft and more emotionally intelligent tone of voice, both towards visual and verbal communication, and do an A/B test or compare the difference. And I'm sure that when you're emotionally clear and confident about what you're creating, the output will definitely outperform the visual noise and the approach that most of the brands and average brands still use on a daily basis, whether on social media whether in printed campaigns, like everywhere. And an amazing example about OpenAI, of course, how they utilized few of these trends is, first of all, recently OpenAI have announced that they will create and they already testing it, the ChatGPT for healthcare. And the insight they're delivering and the visuals for the branding that they chose, they're very smart, because when you want to talk to people about their health and about things that usually cause anxiety and that are very important to people, you want to talk about them from the soft position. You don't want people to get more anxious. You want to use the calmer colors and like to make people feel comfortable with your tool. And this is exactly what they've done when they announced the tool. And the other example of them is that this year they have also done the rebranding, and this rebranding is all about using bold visuals and complementing them with very simple fonts that read clearly, that are minimalistic, but altogether this creates a mix and a visual that really stands out and you pay attention to it. And of course, we couldn't help but mention the unique case that happened this year with the Pantone Color of the Year. So the Pantone Institute, they have been researching color for almost 100 years, and never in the history of the Color of the Year project, they have announced the white color as a key color for the year. And this is an amazing insight to see the emotional state our audiences, the global audiences, are in today. And I'm sure that in the next few months, we will see so many creative campaigns that will be using white color as the core color for communication. And this is the color that amazingly and really swiftly cuts through all the visual noise that you have. And at the same time, it's calming, it's soft, and it doesn't cause more anxiety in times when there is a lot of anxiety out there. So I think for today, that's it. I'm giving word to Vlad because we have an amazing bonus prepared for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Maria. Thanks for your attention today. So we've prepared a free promo code for 10 free images and unlimited AI generations with DepositPhotos. So you can use those creative assets from the report, actually download them, test, play around, maybe use in some of your projects. As all of this is business license covered with a business standard license, not individual one, which is quite important. And you can play around with AI as well. So I'm going to add the link to this promo code as well in our chat. So just in case you don't have a phone to scan the QR code, you can just copy the link and activate the promo code right away. That's about the promo. I think we can move to the Q&A session right now. Shall we?
Yeah, I want to add, yes, 1 second, but I want to add on some very important points about this, like about the business standard license. What this means is that with this promo code, you can use images for your business and explore also the tools that DepositPhotos has that include like the multi-seed option, so you can share it with your team and you can do a lot of cool things with the business license, business standard license, and this is a great promo code to have, and you can experiment with the AI generator as much as you want.
Right, yeah, thanks for adding these details, Maria. It's actually quite important, a little difference from the standard license. There's a difference in the indemnification of files. Indeed, there's multi-seed, differences in terms of the licensing terms. So yeah, you can confidently use it for the company, as your company can be a license holder, which is the most important part probably about that in the licensing. So that's it. If you have anything else to add, please do. If not, let's move up to the Q&A session. I'm thrilled to get some questions and see what we got today. Okay, so
waiting for questions from you. Oh, I see no questions at the moment, but I think this might be a slight delay due to the streaming.
Okay, guys, maybe if you can't come up with a question yet, just type in the chat. How do you like the session? If there was any useful info or insights or cases that you liked, maybe the favorite part about the webinar that you could share. That'd be amazing to know which part of the webinar you liked the most. And we are waiting for the questions.
Oh wow! I'm just scrolling back and I see that we have few people. We have people from Lebanon, from South Africa as well. This is amazing. I see interesting cases. Thank you, Mary. Okay, none from me. I enjoyed it very much. Is the trend report downloadable from your website? Thank you so much. Yes, it's downloadable, and I think Vlad can share with you the link directly here. Yes?
Yes, I will share the link right now.
Amazing, thank you. And we have one question from Victoria. If I'm a small business with limited budget and no in-house designer, which one trend from the report is the safest and the most impactful to start implementing immediately? Oh, wow, this is a great question. But I think I have a very quick answer to that question. So the trend that is the easiest, but also the hardest at the same time to implement is the reality check, not the reality check, the reality trend. And this trend is like, first of all, allows you to use any kind of imagery, which is whether you create it yourself or you download from DepositPhotos or you generate. And it's the easiest trend because if you're a small business owner, for sure you have a direct access to your audience and you clearly understand what their needs and their psychological state is. You can actually test it with your audience as well. So this is going to be the safest and the best way to connect with them really quickly for me. And also another trend that I think is the quietly loud one, because even if you're just using templates from VistaCreate or from any other tool, it's so easy to implement it, and it doesn't require you to have advanced design skills or something like this in order to like choose a bold background and add simple typography on it and to deliver your message super effectively. I hope I answered the question. I see that the link, if the link is not, do you think the link is not disposable, the one that we shared? There is also this link that you can try for the report. Both of them work.
Oh, super. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you. Okay. One last chance to ask a question, and if not, we're gonna be wrapping up today. Thank you so much for your attention, for joining our webinar, and for sharing this 1 hour of your time with us. We will follow up with the webinar recording very soon, so you can share it with your friends and with your colleagues and with anyone who you think this webinar and this information might be useful.